I guess the title of this is "What if the Avengers died?" Or "What if all the Avengers were killed?" I guess.
So what if the world lost its mightiest heroes?
Yeah, yeah. So you take point with this one. You tell me. You said you liked this one. Talk
I
a little
liked it
bit
a
about
lot.
it. Go for
I
it. Go
didn't
for it.
like it as much as the first episode, but I liked it more than the second episode.
What did you like?
Mm, I just thought there was a lot of, I mean, obviously there's a lot different with it. I thought the story was pretty interesting. I was wondering what was causing all this.
Yeah, it was like yeah.
Didn't figure it out until near the end. So I thought it was a pretty good story. It's seems like it's going to be pretty well encapsulated in here. I don't know that this is going to extend in any of the other episodes. And that's really what I wanted out of the What If series is I wanted a bunch of standalone episodes that don't intermix with each other or the rest of the MCU.
Yep, that's what you
So
got.
I think this is a win for that. I hope so.
Yeah, well,
What about you?
well, we came up with a term to talk about what the webs are doing, and the premise of this podcast is for us to look at the Marvel stuff and then talk about the roots from the comics. We
Mhm.
can't really do that because we have already done it.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's retreading, and
Yeah.
I guess it's going to retread all the way for the rest of the
Well,
series.
we know there's one episode at least where it's not going to be retreading common
Yeah, it's gonna
ground,
be
and that's
yeah
the zombie episode.
zombie episode, which will be huge. And I thought it was fine.
And maybe the final episode, if what you think or thought would happen happens.
Well, I mean, I'm
which
almost
is where
scared.
there's a final episode that tries to tie all this stuff together somehow.
I almost promise you that's going to happen now for a couple
Yeah.
different reasons. One, we've got episode where, well, maybe, but we got Captain Carter. So like, I guess at the end of this episode 3, we got a hint that Captain America is still alive. So maybe he'll show up in the later episodes. But right now, in this episode 3, everybody who died hasn't been in any other episodes. Like in episode 1, Captain Carter is revealed to be alive, and in episode 2, we get the Guardians of the Galaxy led by T'Challa, and those people still exist. So we could have a situation at the end where we have Captain Carter, the Guardians of the Galaxy with T'Challa, and then maybe we've got Captain Marvel. Who knows? So yeah, so it's still up in the air. We'll have to wait and see. I just something about this episode just didn't rub me the right way. The mystery of it was fine. A lot, and I liked Scarlett Johansson's voice acting. I liked Samuel Jackson's voice acting was fantastic too.
Scarlett Johansson was not in this.
That wasn't her?
Nope. That was
wow.
Lake Bell. Bell.
She sounded just like her. Wow, that was amazing.
Lake Bell's a famous voiceover actress.
She was great. Yeah. And that was fun. I mean, but I just kind of felt like it's fine.
This episode actually has the fewest number of returning actors for the voices out of any of the episodes, I think.
Was Michael Douglas in it?
Michael Douglas was in it. Samuel L. Jackson, Clark Gregg, who plays Phil Coulson, Jeremy Renner, Mark Ruffalo, and Tom Hiddleston. And that looks like that's it.
They were all good.
Frank Grillo did a voice in this, but his character doesn't show up at all.
Okay. So it's all good. The voice acting's great. The animation, again, great. I just kind of feel like it's like, okay. And here's my thing. Is this meant for me? Like, is it meant for someone else? I just don't know.
Did you ever read the What If comics? Did you enjoy those?
Oh my goodness, yes. Like, don't even get me started. Like,
how are those enjoyable, but this isn't?
Because the what ifs from the comics were these massive, blow your mind, whoa things. It wasn't like, oh, this little bit changes and now Loki takes over the world. It's like huge. Like one of my favorite comic from the What If is What If the High Evolutionary won. It's a long story, but the idea is what if this villain won this battle and got what he wanted, which was for human beings to evolve. And they did evolve in the comics. And all of a sudden you realize that these humans, like all these superheroes, they leave Earth and they go out into the stars and they do all this crazy stuff and human beings become like perfect. It was like wild. And like I just felt like when you read the what if from the comics, the editors were like, go crazy, like go nuts. We don't care what you do. And like
Mhm.
these issues are just very tame. Like
Mm.
they're just very tame. Like compared like what I was expecting, which is some wild, crazy stories that just blows your mind with the concepts and the ideas because they don't have to worrying about comic continuity. How you say that?
Continuity.
Continuity. Okay, yeah. You don't have to worry about continuity because who cares? It's just a what if episode, right? But
Mhm.
I still feel like they're still worried about continuity in a weird way. I mean, I kind of feel
Mm.
like still they
I
do.
hope not. Like, this one to me seems like it's not going to affect anything else in the What If series,
Yeah, maybe.
but I
It
don't
was
know.
it was the
Maybe you're right.
only thing I liked was that Hank Pym went crazy, and that's great because like we got a little Yellow Jacket reference. He was wearing all yellow, which I liked. So that was really cool. He went nuts and he became a villain. That was cool. Uh,
Now, from what you told me about him and when we did Ant-Man, go back and listen to our Ant-Man episode. From what you told me about him as Ant-Man or in the Ant-Man movie, doesn't his kind of personality from the comics match up more with this what if episode than the MCU or no?
his his mentality in this wave episode matches when he had a mental break as Yellow Jacket in the comics. So yes,
Okay.
like the Hank Pym would never kill anybody if he was mentally stable, but he ended up
Mm,
killing, tons of people.
okay. So he did go kind of crazy in the comics and it's pretty much exactly like this.
I wouldn't say exactly.
I mean,
Uh,
not the same people, but like the character itself, I
the
guess.
Yellow Jacket in the comics never went on a murder spree,
Mm,
but it could have been a situation where he would have given the right opportunities.
okay.
One more. There's a couple of different things I did like about this episode. The one thing I like about the episode is like people don't really know that it was doing this, but it helps with continued continuity
Continuity.
with the Incredible Hulk
You know, they
movies.
hire people to just do that on movies, so don't worry about getting it wrong.
What help you with pronunciation?
They know they have like continuity professionals. That's all they do. So,
Oh, really?
you know.
So, if you look at Incredible Hulk, the movie Incredible Hulk, right? That is always kind of like the weird Marvel movie that took place right after Iron Man, kind of close to Iron Man 2, right? And like it never really people always wonder if it fits or if it doesn't because
Mhm.
it has a different actor. And I think this what if sort of said yes, Incredible Hulk does fit into the Marvel Cinematic Universe because like if you looked at Betty Ross and you looked at the scene where the Hulk breaks through that like glass thing and fights the military, that's a direct scene from the
Mm.
Incredible Hulk movie. So I like that they tried to kind of tie in the Incredible Hulk movie and kind of fix that loop. That was good. I wish that
What I liked is they're basically kind of implying that the first 3 Marvel movies, I think it is, all basically happened at the same time.
there's
So Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, and Thor.
sort of because Iron Man that was actually Iron Man 2 when he's in the diner eating a
Yeah,
donut.
that's true. Yeah. Okay.
So I think what they're implying is that Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, and Thor happened at the same time. I'm fine with that.
Right. Right.
Um, but then we
Which is
got,
kind of neat.
yeah, no, great. I liked it. But then we got like Loki invading Earth with the Asgardian army.
Whoa,
Like
whoa, you're skipping ahead.
I did skip ahead. Yeah.
No,
What did I
anyway, go
miss?
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, well, it's like in a typical what if like that the Afghani army would have went to war with Earth's armies and it would have been massive devastation.
Mhm.
And all we do is see Loki shoot this little ice beam around. Then we get to see him disguise himself as Nick Fury and beat up Yellow Jacket. And then he somehow convinced the world to bow to him and now he's king.
Well,
It was just weird.
what if what's this called? What if the world lost its mightiest heroes and then a god comes down to Earth and brings a massive army with him? He's probably going to take over the planet.
Yeah, but like that's a great story. I like the
Mhm.
what if the Avengers weren't there to stop Loki. That's great. I love it. but give me the huge, incredible fight scenes, right? Give me the crazy fight scenes when you have like Captain Marvel coming back from space to fight Loki, and we get Loki versus Captain Marvel, and then she loses or whatever. Or give me the
This
scene.
is where I have to do what you've done to me, or I guess at least the past episode, and remind you that it's a half-hour show.
Yeah, no, you know what? I was watching this and thinking that the half-hour time is so limiting. That might be one of the reasons why I'm disappointed. Like, we need
Mm.
more than half an hour to tell the stories that I want. But to
Do
get
you at
this,
least like this episode more than the last one?
I'll rank them. I would say from worst to best, I would say episodes 3, episodes 2, episodes 1.
Wow.
That's how I rank them.
Wow. Okay.
I think
From worst to best, I am episode 2, episode 3, episode 1.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I think we all can say at this point that the premise for this podcast, which is trying to be like we're archaeologists digging into the roots of comic book lore to see how it ties to the movies, that's kind of done. Like for this what if. Like it's
For
not
what if, yeah.
and that it might surprise us. And we do have a couple
Yeah.
episodes. I hope so. I hope they really decide to, because they have some old stories they really could tell that'd be great for what I want to see them do is go into the comics of the old What If comics and just just for one episode.
Yeah, they
just
should
give us
definitely do that
one
for at least
episode.
one episode. Just like lift one of the What If comics and do that.
That'd be so much fun. I mean, and like I've said, this is the perfect venue to introduce people to new comic book characters. You know, like this. The Marvel comics is so rich. Like we're talking about the multiverse.
They did that here.
Who's the new character?
Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, but did we ever hear his name? No. Like
We saw him.
But if we're talking about the multiverse, where's Man Thing? Like no one's talking about that, and you don't even know who that is.
Who?
Exactly. And like I'm not even going to explain it because what's the point?
Right.
But like give me an episode with Adam Warlock. Give me an episode. Like I don't know. It's just a lot that this could do. I'm disappointed that they're not really trying to do something like above and beyond with this. It's just kind of fan service at this point. If you like the MCU, you're gonna love this. But I kind of want more.
Well, we've heard what you didn't like about it. Now it's time to hear the one thing that I didn't like about it.
Go for it.
So you said that the Iron Man movie that this references is actually Iron Man 2. That's where Tony hangs out in the donut and meets up with Nick Fury in the diner.
Yep.
Right. Well, so in that movie, when Iron Man Tony Stark is hanging out in the donut, they've got this really awesome music playing while he's doing that. It's Groove Holmes by the Beastie Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the exact same scene as the introduction for Iron Man in this show. They're paying for all these voice actors. They didn't pay for Tony Stark, but they paid for a lot of other people. They didn't pay for the Beastie Boys song. They've got some really lame stand-in music.
Yeah.
Instead of Groove Holmes, which is a really awesome tune.
I don't know what to tell you. It's terrible. That ruined the whole episode. I didn't know you were such a big Beastie Boys fan.
Yeah, huge Beastie Boys fan.
I have that on vinyl, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which album is that from?
I forget. Maybe it's on Ill Communication.
I think it's on Check Your Head.
Do you have the internet to check that? I have Check Your Head too, so it doesn't matter.
Let's see real quick.
I'm about to spend I think $200 on new music soon.
What kind of music?
Whatever I want. My music is just real stale.
Yeah, it's definitely on Check Your Head.
Yeah. Ill Communication is without a doubt the best Beastie Boys album. You can't really debate that.
If you don't count Paul's Boutique.
You can count Paul's Boutique, but it's not their best album. The best album is Ill Communication. It's just period. It's their best album, period.
Yeah?
Yeah. Anybody who argues that is just being kind of a jerk.
I don't know.
Some people
Ill Communication's a good album.
It's their best
album. Check
album.
Your Head though.
It's fine, but it's not as good as Ill Communication.
Yeah.
They
got the Ill Communication.
People who like Paul's Boutique only stand that because people like to be contradarians. I like their older stuff. Okay, that's fine. But from production, lyrics, like scale, ill communication is hands
Yeah,
down.
they weren't playing their own instruments in
No,
Lost Boutique like they were in Ill Communication and Check Your
take
Head.
ill communication, put it in a time capsule with every other amazing thing in the world, and it's perfect. It's perfect now.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right. Well, Group Homes. Awesome song. Should have been in this episode. They should have given the Beastie Boys a little bit more money.
yeah. So I just okay. I think I've beaten this horse pretty dead. So I'm not going to beat it up anymore. Do we know what the next episodes are about?
No, I don't. I have a few questions for you though.
Okay, go ahead.
Or just a few things to mention, I guess. In this episode, they mention Vita radiation.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's from Captain America Captain America: The First Avenger movie. That they used that to kind of get Captain America to start growing.
Right. They the way they mention it in this is Clint Barton, Hawkeye. I think it was, or no, it's probably Phil Coulson said that the Vita radiation coming off of Thor's hammer was, it had a lot of Vita radiation coming off of it.
I missed that. Okay.
I don't think they did that in the Thor movie, but they did that in this show.
Okay, cool. What else you got?
Thor smells like lavender.
I don't know where they got that from.
And both Phil Coulson and Nick Fury take a few whiffs of Thor.
That's funny.
And smell the lavender. So that like
it was funny, but also it was like I guess it's like if they didn't know who these people were, so they're not attached to them,
mm-hmm.
But like it's kind of odd for them to be so very cavalier, even though like Thor's dead, but they don't know Thor, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Hulk's power level in this episode.
Yeah.
We talked about Hulk's power level in the Hulk movie, and you said at the time, again, listeners, go back and listen to our Incredible Hulk episode. You said at the time that his power level wasn't as high as it should be from the comics because, like, he wasn't throwing the tanks and stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
But in this episode, I think he was. What do you think?
Oh yeah, his power levels. Even though it was short, I was very excited to see that, and I kind of wish the episode spent a lot more time showing how awesome the Hulk was there. But his power levels were fine in this episode, no problem.
Like they could just redo that movie with Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah,
in this animation style, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be amazing. They won't do it, but that would be absolutely great.
They also mentioned in this episode that Hulk basically can't die.
I don't know why they keep saying that, because Hulk can definitely die. Like that's weird that they kept mentioning that. I mean, he's super strong and super tough, but he's immortal. So I'm not really sure where it was coming from.
Okay, so there's nothing like that comes from the comics that.
I mean, he's super strong and super tough. It'd be very hard to kill him, but I mean, he's not. He's a mortal. He's a mortal creature.
Okay. Mortal, not immortal.
No, he's mortal. Yeah, mortal means you can die, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay, and he does in this episode. He blows up literally.
Yeah.
All right, so we get to learn what Phil Coulson's password is. He says hashtag, but that's incorrect. He really means hash or pound. So he says hash Steve, I heart Steve 0704.
That's pretty good.
That mean anything to you?
The 0704? I don't think so. Maybe it's
that is July 4th.
Oh,
because he's a very patriotic person.
Yeah, okay. That's a good catch. Cool.
Yeah. All right. And then you talked about Hank Pym and what's his name again? Yellow Jacket?
Yellow Jacket, yeah.
Anything else you want to tell us about that?
No, we pretty much talked about that pretty good. But I enjoyed that they kind of even just lightly, they did kind of dip into Hank Pym's mental issues. So that was pretty good.
Right. Okay. And then at the end, the only two heroes that we know are left standing is Captain America and Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and like it was just kind of like fast. I guess it kind of insinuated that they were going to do something more. But it was again, it's just kind of fan service. It's like I do hope that they do a Captain Marvel episode because we don't really have a lot of stories behind Captain Marvel. We got the one movie, and and we see her in Endgame. So we
Mhm.
don't really. There's not a lot for Captain Marvel. So they could use What If to kind of boister that, and I hope they do.
Yeah, yeah, I'm wondering if her showing up in this means she's gonna show up in another episode
I
too.
almost promise you that she will. She kind of has to at this point.
Interesting that they also don't have Brie Larson doing the voice for Carol Danvers. It's some
Yeah, man, these
other
voice actors are
actress.
super expensive. I'm actually looking at some screens, like there's a bunch of screenshots of all the different. I got a screenshot of all the different voice actors they have,
Mhm.
and so technically, Natalie Portman is supposed to be. Yeah, Natalie Portman's supposed to be in this somehow.
Hmm.
We haven't seen her yet.
Yep.
We get Paul Rudd is supposed to be in here. We haven't seen him yet.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, so we're going to get Ant-Man reference.
Natalie Portman plays Natalie Portman in the Thor movies.
No comment on that one. Michael B.
I think Jane
Jones.
Foster is actually her character's name.
Yeah, it is. Michael B. Jones. We haven't seen him yet.
Michael
Sebastian.
B. Jordan?
Why I say Jones? Michael B. Jordan. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sebastian Stan. He's
Stan?
going to be in it. We haven't seen him yet. And then, of course, there's a couple of different people that we have seen that might make a return appearance. So I'm curious what this Michael B. Jordan's going to do. I'm curious to see what Paul Rudd's going to do. I'm very curious to see what Natalie Portman does. Natalie,
Yeah.
initially Natalie I read something that Natalie where the directors or the producers for What If wanted to have What If Jane Foster picked up the hammer, but she's actually going to do that in Thor: Love and Thunder, so they're not going to have that happen. But
Spoiler alert.
everybody knows that. That's not a spoiler. Everybody knows that. They showed her at Comic-Con holding the hammer. Like everybody knows that. They've already said it. That's not a spoiler.
Mm.
Don't you get on me about that. That's going to be in a trailer. That's going to be a big deal. They're going to show her pick
They
it up.
better not put that in the trailer. Come
They're
on,
going
man.
to, because that's going to be reason to go see it. It's like,
Not if you show me in the trailer.
okay. Give me a second. I got some other art here I want to look at. So I got that.
While you're doing that, what do you think of the Hank Pym and Loki fight at the end? I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it.
It was just fun. It wasn't like super engaging. I didn't. The Captain Carter fight scenes were much better than this one. I'm hoping they do
Oh
some
yeah,
serious
yeah.
fight
Captain
scenes.
Carter had great fight scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking at some art here. I just put in What If Disney Plus into Google Images, and I got some images here I want to look at. So I've
Mhm.
got one image that shows some Wakandans getting ready to fight. I don't know who they're fighting. There's an image where Doctor Strange is kind of using his powers somehow, but I'm not sure what he's doing. We've got another image of Killmonger. We've already known that's going to happen. There's a cool image from the Marvel Zombies episodes where
Mhm.
Tony Stark is a zombie, but he's in the Iron Man suit. That looks cool.
Oh, interesting.
And it looks like this might be the Scarlet Witch or Wanda Maximoff maybe doing something. I'm not
Mm.
sure.
Mhm.
There's another one. So there's another one. I'm looking at this one, and it shows Gamora. We haven't seen her yet.
Oh, nice.
It shows a woman in red hair. I don't know if that is the Black Widow. It also shows Thor, maybe. I don't know if it's Thor. It's a guy with blonde hair holding Thor's hammer. And then we get Doctor Strange. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay. Now I got this. Now, so this is going to happen. Apparently, Spider-Man's going to become the Sorcerer Supreme. It's Peter Parker in the Spider-Man suit wearing Doctor Strange's red cloak.
I
So,
don't like that.
well, you don't know if you don't like it yet. You haven't seen it.
Did that ever happen in the comics? Did he become Sorcerer Supreme?
Apparently, in the comics, he is going to be, but it's not really Peter Parker. It's someone else. It's a long story.
Okay.
But a person who has Spider-Man's abilities might become Sorcerer Supreme.
I'm not on the bandwagon of Spider-Man becoming a sorcerer.
Let's give it a try first, you know. And there's a scene where Doctor Strange is shooting some energy out of his hands, but I'm not sure what he's doing. So I don't know what this is.
Magic.
Yes, magic shooting out of his hands, but I'm not sure what it is. Just so that's some stuff to look forward to. So we don't know what the next episodes are, which I kind of like. I like the surprise. So on Wednesdays, I try to stay away off the internet and stuff until I get to see it. I never know what I'm going to watch, so that's kind of fun.
Right.
One more thing. There's a picture of Gamora wearing Thanos' armor and using his weapon, and there's another picture of
That's
Ultron.
interesting. Yeah, I like that.
There's another picture of Ultron. That's actually pretty cool too. But that's all I've got so far.
That Gamora one's got me interested.
You like Gamora, huh?
Yeah, I like the actress. I like the character.
Yeah.
Don't like how she died, so
She's not dead though.
Wait. This is more time travel stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, but let's just save that for our mega. I don't know if you know, Mike, but we're going to have 4 episodes for Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame. So it's not going to be just 1 episode. It's going to be 4 episodes.
Yeah.
All right. I've already planned it out, so I don't know if you are aware of that.
We should see if listeners want to have like a mega long episode.
Yeah, if you
like a 2-hour long episode,
dude, I will watch both movies with you and do the podcast as we watch the movies. I will do that.
That might be a good time to try the Twitter Spaces or whatever they're called.
Yeah, and also it might be a time for me to get my wife some roses or something so she doesn't hate me.
Right.
There's only so much geeky nerd stuff you can do until like your significant other is like, no more, stop. More, stop. You got anything else, Mike?
I think that does it for this episode.
Yeah, I'm surprised you liked it, but I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know. Guess I'm easy to please.
Yeah. So Mike, where can they find us?
Everywhere you can find podcasts, we're there.
Everywhere?
Everywhere.
iTunes?
And if not, then let us know and we'll be there.
Okay. iTunes,
Apple Podcasts.
Check Amazon Podcasts. I want to see if we're on there.
Pretty sure we're there. If not, we will be very shortly. Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts.
What's the most popular one?
Apple Podcasts is close to half of our listeners.
Wow! Hey, Apple Podcast listeners, where to go on your morning commutes, or when you're trying to do homework, or when you just want someone to talk to you and make you feel better? That's what we're here for. Because the world's crazy. Don't read the news. It's so bad.
What are we talking about next? What's our next episode?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I've watched half of it. And I need to watch the other half. There are some interesting.
Neither one of us was really looking forward to this episode, and the fact that you've watched half of it doesn't seem like a good indicator.
The common wisdom is that all MCU movies are great, but after a review, after like doing this for a while, that's not the case. There's definitely some that I like, and there's some that I love, and there's some that I'm like,
yeah.
Like definitely Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 definitely fits in that category.
Well, definitely tune in and listen to us talk about that episode. It's going to be interesting.
But you might love that. Other people might love it, and there's lots of. I will. Yeah, and there's lots of comic book stuff in there.
Like I said, I was 1,000% on board with Guardians of the Galaxy, who I had absolutely zero exposure to before the movie. Loved that movie.
Everybody did.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what I think of Volume 2.
Yeah. All right, Mike. I will see you next time.
All right. See you then.